I'm afraid that these devotions are catching me on a busy day today. As happens sometimes, I don't know if I can get them in and get my work done at the same time. I've been cleaning out some some waste and some brush, so I've got to empty it off before I can do them. But I think I'll try to do them at the same time. Today is the day of the fall full moon, the harvest moon. It also happens to be a supermoon, and it also happens to be an eclipse, just a partial eclipse. So for nature, my nature slide this time, segment, if I have time to do it, I'll go ahead and record a little bit of the eclipse tonight. That's my goal. Well, I got the pile of brush all cleaned up from the back of the truck, the load for today. I'll do another load tomorrow probably. So the next check-off mark on my list is to stop in here at Kerr Hardware and to pick up a gallon or two of waterproofing, water sealer. My plan for today was the title for today was, Just How Rich Should a Preacher Be Anyway? And I've been working on just discussion ideas about how poor is too poor. Like, at what point do we keep our pastors so poor that it's disgraceful? And how rich is too rich? On the other hand, how often do we, and where's the line, that we let our pastors gain such wealth that it's disgraceful? Well, that started my thinking, but I've got to say that I've changed my title a little bit today, and I'll talk to you about that when I get back from the hardware store. The more I thought about it, the more I thought that how we handle our wealth is not just a pastoral issue. It's an issue that affects all Christians, because all of us are ambassadors for Christ. And I remember, I can't quote this quite right, it's somewhere around Proverbs chapter 30, verse 7, 8, 9. And it says something to the effect of, 2 things I ask of the Lord before I die, that he give me neither poverty nor riches. For if I have riches, I might be tempted to think I don't need my God. You know, I may be tempted to think that I'm okay, a self-made man. If I have poverty, I may be tempted to steal and dishonor my Lord. And it seems to me that all of us should ask of the Lord somewhere in the middle where we don't dishonor the Lord. I suppose all of us wouldn't mind being middle class. You know, having enough to fill our needs, but not so much that's opulent. But the world doesn't work like that, does it? It never has. It may be our prayer, but very seldom, you know, or at least for a lot of people, that's not how it turns out. The book of Proverbs, proverbs. They're not promises. They are rules of thumb, good insights and rules to live by. But it's not a promise that if we follow God, we'll never be poor. I remember one time studying a little bit about the life of King Henry VIII, one of the most powerful, cruel, opulent rulers of England. And what I learned about King Henry VIII was he was sick a big portion of his life. That is, he had a sore that came from an early jousting match that never quite healed, so it was like ulcerated leg. You could hardly walk sometimes. He only lived to be 55 years old. He didn't have air conditioning. He didn't have refrigeration. He didn't have a car to ride around on, anything like what we have. I realized that I am richer and more opulent and have lived longer and a better, more comfortable life than King Henry VIII of England. And a whole lot of you probably have also. And I realized that if we feel like we don't have much, sometimes, that is, we don't have much compared to someone who has more. But Paul says, I've learned the secret of being content and can do all things through him who gives me strength. May we learn that secret. Let's say you do have a considerable amount of wealth, that you actually have as much as you can spend. You have probably more than you're likely to spend, and you have a sizable savings and portfolio. So you're blessed. How does that fit in with the Christian life? Well, in 1 Corinthians, we're told that we are all part of the body of Christ, and that different parts of us have been gifted by the Spirit with different gifts. Me, for better or for worse, I'm kind of a teacher. My wife has had a gift of music, and he leads the music in our church. There are Sunday school teachers. There are those that do all sorts of other things in the church. And those that have been blessed with the ability to handle funds, that's a gift just like any other. Not any better, not any worse. And all of these gifts are given to us to bless the church, to be a part of God's family. And so it's nothing special when you are able to write a bigger check, just like it's nothing special when someone gets up and belts out a fantastically beautiful song, or if a preacher, not me, but another one gets up and just gives a sermon that people are writing notes of for a long time. That's what God expects us to do. And if God has given you the gift of being able to handle funds through some way or the other, God can probably also give you the wisdom to know how to use those funds. Got some neighborhood geese kind of honking at us tonight. We're just about halfway till the next Sunday. It'll only be a few days when we come together to worship again. Last Sunday was just a great Sunday. Between now and Sunday, may God calm your spirit. Whether you are rich or poor or in between, may God allow you to be content with the gift He's given you. And may God bless you.